Hello, everybody. Welcome to Pearls of Wisdom. It's full moon again, and here in Thailand we celebrate now this full moon, the birthday of Buddha, and also the dying day of Buddha. So it's a big holiday. Um, it is very significant when you look at the chart, and I'm going to share the screen right now. And when you look at it, you can see that with the orange line here, we have a very strong karmic situation here. Actually, it is really helping to clear up the past. And we can see also that probably a lot of people mind are confronted with things in their life now. As I said already last reading with the getting rid of anger, that a lot of stuff is coming up. I can see, especially those who are awakening up now, that they start to see that what has happened to us. And the more you look into this different medias, also if you, for example, go and look into a history channel or something like coming up from the past, when you can see that the history really literally all what we have told is lies. And it is really time to completely let go, and it hurts. I mean, we are being brought up in a certain way. We are brainwashed in perceiving the reality in a certain way. And now we come to the point that we see that all is just an illusion. I mean, in theory, I know that everything is an illusion, and that when you know how the eyes function, how our senses function, that this is actually all within us. But it's still, that awakening process is very difficult to go through. So we have the sun in Taurus, the consciousness, and this is especially because when you look at the world chart that I make here for London, it's actually at cusp 8, and this is the house of Scorpio of transformation. And Scorpio and Taurus are the opposite of each other. And the rising sign is in Libra. It's still about balancing. So it's another underworld journey, and we have to let go of all the things what we have hold on. So we have here a half square going on to Venus, and this is connected with Pluto and coming back in a 1.5 square to the sun. So this is again another indication that we are going through an underworld journey. And I know for myself and for many others that this time in a way is very difficult. We feel like sometimes really that the roof is falling on my head. Then when I go into my Telegram groups and all the information that is coming out again and again, it's just like absolutely insane. And I will put here an URL about Europa. Is that there's a movie that I don't remember exactly the title right now, but more or less what really was happening. And it starts in the first part with also with Russia, what happened there. And I tell you, once you understand what really happened, then you might get very upset. I did, and I could not look at it too long. It's very long. It's a 11-hour documentary. So I just, you have to take it in portion, but it's really good to look at it because I can feel that a lot of truth is also when you go back, like in before the Second World War in Germany, what they say there, it gives you a complete different perspective, which is more and more true the more you look into it and the more that you know. I have heard things like that from this time before, but I was not really kind of convinced. But with what I know now, I am convinced that this is true. So with this constellation, we really have to confront. See, this is the square here from Mercury, Uranus, going back to Pluto. So you see the resistance. We don't want to really look at that. We would like to keep our illusion, but this is in the last degrees of Aries, and with Mercury and Uranus together, this is shattering the illusion. And of course, there are people who can still put their head in the sand, but it won't help. It won't help because what you don't confront will not go away. So what you look at disappears, what you resist persists. So I encourage you to take really the courage, literally the courage to look at these things, that we can let go of the old illusion, that we can go let go of this world picture that is made by a very small group of people with a reptilian background, which is actually the last message from Matthew, is a very clear explanation of what happened. That is also good. I can put the URL also below. So the moon in Sagittarius, again, Sagittarius is the sign where we move beyond boundaries. It is a very good, a very beautiful explanation. In the sign, we have a horizontal line and the arrow that pierces the horizontal line. That means you get away from all that, what has held you down. I mean, it's like literally, again, the whole butterfly topic. Don't be a caterpillar anymore. Move on to become that butterfly. And in that cocoon, that process of dying, when we look at it, what it represents for right now, it is really that it represents the whole letting go of everything what we have known. And it's really a rabbit hole. It's more and more and more, and it's the year of the rabbit. You probably know we really literally go down there if you start to look at it. And of course, it will be part of it will be very emotional. We have Venus and Mars in Cancer. Again, there will be anger. How could I believe that? How could they cheat us so much? A lot of questions will come up. And what I have to say here is that it has been here for a very, very long time already. And it was always in the open, but we didn't see it. Those who have controlled the world have not hidden the truth, actually. And this is actually what hurts me the most, that, gosh, it was all there. Why didn't I not see it? Many things I've seen, for example, the whole immunization process. I had myself already an experience when I was a young child from one of these injections about really being sick. And my two brothers, we were all very, very sick. And I remember that the doctor at that time that still came at home was sitting on our beds for hours and, you know, making poultice and all kind of stuff. And then I have to vaccine kids who had vaccine damage already, and I took them off the program very early. But it is really true, and you can see it also for the long term, that already in the beginning of the century, around this Spanish flu, that this was the first real test where they had already started with this process to poison humanity. And then, of course, everything comes up. And when you look at also, I just was talking to a lady and we talked about the food. What should I still eat? I really don't know, especially if you are living in an apartment and you really need to go to buy the food in a grocery store. I mean, the farmers markets are still better, but what they spray from the air and what is all around, it's difficult. And we have to come to the point that we can see that our bodies are poisoned. All of us, we all have poisoned bodies. And this is the next step, that we have to go into the healing. And the healing is, first of all, I have realized that we need very, very little food to survive. I have a long time ago already started to eat only 2 meals, and now I'm kind of soon with 1 meal and have more liquid, which also helps. I have a distiller that I use the water when I drink like this, and I maybe put 1 or 2 drops of Himalaya salt. I have a jar of Himalaya salt that I put it in, that when the salt dissolves, it gives you a 26% brine. This is a saturated brine. So you have the 26% brine, and if you put in a glass of water, 2 drops is plenty enough that you have everything what your body needs. And the more actually poison you put into the body, the more the body needs, in a way, the more you get hungry, because that's also part of the whole process. The less you eat, the less hungry you are. And when you also think about it, when you're hungry, go and drink something, go drink water, but don't drink all these soda pops and all that stuff, which is also full of poison. And you will see that you're not very hungry, because when you consider that our body is 80% plus water, then you also understand that water is one of the more important things that we need. And when we have a good clean water, I really recommend that you buy a little distiller. It's not very expensive, and you can make the good water from any water that you have. And then you can start to control, and you will see that there's, especially when you put first thing in the morning, you drink a 200 cc, like a big glass of water, put a few drops of Himalaya salt inside. And this is a very perfect detox, and you will see changes in your body, and you will see them also in your skin. I have started long time ago to make my own cosmetics, everything more or less, and just my eyelash. I don't know how to do that stuff, and I'm still vain, and I still want to do that. But the more you go into this way, the more you discover what you can do. And I have made creams and all the kind of stuff with pure beeswax, with coconut oil, and I have grown a lot of cannabis this year, and I make my tinctures and everything. So when you start to do that, when you go also to the farmers and still buy natural products, then you can still do a lot more than I don't know about how the organic things are in shops in different countries. I cannot tell you, because you have to figure it out, and it is very helpful if you have a way to figure out how to use things for yourself, how your body is reacting to different things. This is very important to understand. And then you can start to test what is really good, what can you really eat. And you know, a lot of things that you eat today, afterwards you're very tired. And when I look at all these lines here now, this is everything what is coming to the surface now. See, here we have the squares. We have a lot of resistance also to go through, because it is so hard to look at the new, but they are shock experiences. They are experiences of loss, experiences of say, for example, we have mistakes that we made many lifetimes before already. It is like a thread going through all the lifetimes. When you do regression therapy, I did for many years, I can see that people often repeat the same mistakes. And so this is now the time that we move away from these mistakes to go forward and let go of our habits and whatever we've done before. And one of the really important things here is now, because we now need to ground ourselves with Saturn here in Aquarius at the root. We have to ground ourselves in our spiritual self. It is really important that you reconnect with that spiritual self, that divine self, having a human experience now, and not in any other belief systems. Because religion is also made, and religion has been misused to become a control system. And I'm not saying that people in religion are bad, or that even some pastors or whatever are bad, but they are also ensnared in a belief system that we have to penetrate and start to find our own inner voice to guide us through. And this is the opposite here, from Aquarius at the root, and then Leo on top. When you look at the sun, the ruler of Leo in Taurus at the cusp of 8, we start with our consciousness, because where you focus, that's what you create, right? And then we have here Mercury with Uranus here in Aries at the end. So that is the breakthrough into something new. So once we break through and we accept that the old has nothing to do with us anymore, we are hurt in our feelings, but we are ready to move into that cocoon to go forward. That will give us a manifestation afterwards of something which is from a higher consciousness. And the higher your consciousness is, the more, first of all, also your body heals, because the consciousness has something to do with health. Because when you focus and when you're depressed and on negative things, that is also that your body is diseased, in disease. It's not easy anymore, because illness actually as such does not really exist as it is explained today. It's something completely different. It is a corrective of when you go too far away from your life path. And when you look at the statistics of illness today, you can see that most people are very far away from their life path. And I guess all of us are, to a certain degree, of our really divine life path. And now is the time to adjust, to bring that back together, because the consciousness level on the planet is completely rising. And with here Leo on top of here is like, take back your power. And again and again and again, I say that, take back your power. You are a divine being having a human experience. You can reconnect to this higher self, to your soul self, to your even angelic self on a very higher level. Get as high as possible as you can when you meditate. Especially, it's very good when you do that in the evening when you go to bed. That's the last thing that you do to reconnect with your higher self. Ask maybe for dreams that give you explanation about what is happening, or that you wake up in the morning of answers that you pose in the evening. They will come to you, maybe not when you wake up, but maybe during the day. Suddenly somebody says something, or you read something, or get an information that you get exactly the answer on that question that you had. So this is really a very strong transformation time that will help to balance us into the new, the breakthrough. Jupiter still goes also forward here in Aries. That means that is now an active time, and you cannot escape. You either go up or you either go down. Very simple. Those who put the head in the sand, they will slowly go down. They will become more sick or more problems. They have affinity, especially with Uranus constellation, for accidents when they are connected with this. And this will not stop until we are completely balanced. It is like, how can I say that? To go the path back into spirit, to become a conscious spiritual being living, is that we let go of all the illusion and of all the influences that are outside, and really just listen to our inner self, to our higher self, and be guided by this. And the more you also do for your physical health, the more you prepare your vessel, your temple of the divine as our body, for higher information, higher messages. So as most of you know, that I'm working with electro gardens now, electro rod, and I go barefoot every morning in my garden, and it really makes a big difference. It makes a big difference that health is slowly restored. You might go into some kind of healing crisis, especially those who have some chronic disease. A chronic disease, to dissolve it, it has to become active again. It has to become an itis again. And the itis ending of a word is acute, so it has to come out again, and then do detox. And I said already before in my videos about illness that a flu, in fact, is a detox. That's why we get the flu in the winter when it's cold. We have to detox our body from all the stuff that we had during the year, and we need to let go. The more chemical remedies we take and suppress the flu, the worse it gets. And this poison then remains in the body, but it's a natural process, including all those children illness that we have. This is the illness itself is an immunization, but not that what they give you like this. It's not possible, because the body does not go through the process of immunization. So anyway, I don't want to talk too much on that, but the chart itself is very clear now that it's really now the time we need to root ourselves in our spiritual being. take over responsibility, ability to respond to whatever is happening in our life, to balance and finally make that breakthrough into that higher dimension where we're supposed to go. I know this is not easy. This is a challenge, but that's why we're here. That's why we have incarnated in this time, because we were those who came to help to rise the consciousness level for the planet. Everybody who is listening to that is definitely one of our, we can say, soul groups, whatever, who have incarnated to help the planet to move forward. So please be courageous. Don't give up. I know it's not easy. I know it's hard, but get together with friends, talk about this, help each other, and you will see that you get better. You get better. Even if the storm is outside hard, and if problems are coming up, don't give in. Don't give in. We have to go through this now, and the light is getting stronger every day, and the more light we have, the more the darkness and the stuff is visible. But remember, it was here before, many years, millennia probably, and now we're cleaning out. Now we're at that point where finally, after thousands of years, we are there, that we can move forward again, that we can redeem that planet, and the consciousness can rise, and those toxic beings that have taken over have to leave now. Because remember, when the light is shining, the darkness automatically goes. So the more we work on the light to make the light more intense, the less of these negative shadow beings can be here, because they cannot stand the light. I hope that helps you a little bit for the next couple weeks, and thank you for listening. I hope you like it and give me a thumbs up, and we talk soon again. As soon as we have the 18th is the dark moon, so we look at that again. Thank you very much.